Federal Reserve raising interest rates to a new range of 0.25 to 0.5%, up a quarter on the range. The Federal Reserve saying it anticipates ongoing increases to the Federal Reserve funds rate. It expects to do balance sheet reduction, quote, at a coming meeting, not specified what meeting, but specified that it is at a, quote, coming meeting. The Fed saying is prepared to adjust rates as needed relative to risks in the economy. St. Louis Fed President Jim Bullard dissented, preferring a 0.5% increase. Now, onto the Fed forecast. If I've done the math right, which I think I did, the average Fed official, the median Fed official, showing 7 hikes for 2022, up to 1.88%. Further hikes forecast for 2023 and 24 for both years. That would bring the funds rate up to 2.8% both years. So the key right there is that the median Fed official right now is expecting to raise the funds rate above the neutral rate, which is 2.4% in the summary of economic projections. The Fed also, of course, hiking the 2022 inflation outlook. The median forecast now at 4.3%. That is plus 1.7 percentage points. Further, it says inflation remains elevated and says supply and demand imbalances along with are, quote, highly uncertain. However, it is likely to create upward pressure on inflation. One more note here on the economy. They say indicators of the economy have begun to strengthen and job gains have been strong. So good on those two scores. But I think you have to underscore that now the median Fed official does see the funds rate above the neutral rate for 2 years. Kelly?
Tomorrow's industries call for next-generation automation today. We will help you make it better so you can make it for life.
Yes, this is Empire Crypto TV. You are with the Stone, of course. Those were the biggest news of the week. The interest rates hike is something that we've been waiting for. So this event just sort of like occurred right after the PPI index that was released on the 15th. Then on the 16th, which was on Wednesday, the interest rates hike was shown to the world, 0.25, which will only be in effect for the US dollar. So this really means that those were big news that has pushed the US dollar right there. As you can see, the US dollar gaining strength. But now this is a one-day chart. So with the one-day chart, there's been daily speculations that the interest rates will be raised up, and obviously this has helped to push the US dollar up, of course, but the US dollar in effect will be doing less exporting. But what has made this US dollar to be so strong because of the raise of this interest rates is because now investors are looking for interest returns, and the interest returns are going to be higher for investors. Most institutions or financial investment corporations will look to be investing in the US dollar. Hence, we're seeing this strong trend against the Japanese yen, which means the Japanese yen has less interest rates to offer. That's because the Japanese or the East or the other side, even countries like China, are more involved to be exporting more goods. But now also one of the reasons they say it's also to curb inflation. So inflation does devalue the dollar, and so to put back the value of the dollar, because there's too much dollar flowing around, and when there's too much dollar flowing around in the economy, and that makes it less valuable. So to make it more valuable, a bit of a scarcity is maintained through this inflation. So through this interest rates hike, sorry. So that means that the power of borrowing and moving money won't be as easy. And some of the experts say that, it's going to be healthy for the economy. So before the economy could be healthy, they wanted to go through some very difficult times or some very turbulent times. And for the general public, it is going to be very turbulent times because a lot of things are going to be expensive and borrowing money will become more expensive. So this interest rates hike, but has affected the public in a different way than it has affected the dollar. Though the dollar may be strong, as you can see there, against the Japanese yen, the interest rates also is affecting the public in a different way. Also, on the technical side, I'm looking at the RSI, the relative strength index, okay, looking to be overbought, okay. This shows that when the interest rate news kicked in, it shows that the buying of the dollar was extremely aggressive in that day when it came, okay, when on the 16th of this month of March. So coincidentally, so we are sitting at the point whereby we are seeing the rise of the dollar, and this happened since Wednesday. So let's see how long will it last. But not only did the dollar receive so much attention with regarding the interest rates, also the Bitcoin, looking at the daily chart, there was a time, I think this is the candlestick, this is the one candlestick, okay? This candlestick that formed on the 14th, okay, and then came 15. Then on the 16th, when the interest rates hikes were announced, also the Bitcoin, as you can see, this candlestick here, this is the daily chart for Bitcoin. It also rose up and there was some positivity, but afterwards, after the following day, and then you can see that there was some bearish trend. But there is a significant engulfing bullish trend that I have been speaking about for the past few days, if I may say, and talking about how effective this pattern can be, that can show that the market can see its bullish trend. But now we can see that it's not an immediate uptrend, so it's taking its time. It's very slow, and it's yet gonna go on and on. It's been sitting on $40,000 and $41,000 in between, not being certain whether it's gonna go straight up to that 45 or 40 or more than $40,000 per coin. And so that also remains to be seen. Also, the market here on cryptocurrency, I'm also looking at the BNB Binance coin as well, which is also looking quite similar, but I'm looking at the different time zone. I'm looking at the weekly chart for the BNB because it is the native coin for the Binance project, or Binance Smart Chain project. I just want to enlarge in the chart right here before I could carry on. I just want this data to show itself here, and so that I can share the news and technical analysis and fundamental analysis. This is Empire Crypto TV. Please be sure to subscribe and do say something on the comment section. Send us some comments if you can. Please show some love. And we are live here in Johannesburg, and I know this is a different time zone. And this is the weekly chart for Binance. Okay, there's something that I just want to analyze on the overall. So I'm analyzing it on a longer term perspective, okay. This is the Binance. So when Binance began, okay, it was just the precious coin, the project itself. I just want to go back to the day that they started. I know this is the current time. Look at the volatility here. It was quite low, quite less, not so much of action taking place, but until you zoom in, you'll understand. This is the beginning, this is the genesis of the Binance coin, where it started on the 6th of November 2017. The exchange itself began the same year. So the moment the exchange kicked in, also the Binance coin was also kicking in. But you can see that when it kicked in, it did not have that bullish candlestick that you may see on new coins like the Ape coin that has came out with a bang, which I will share with you, which is one of the hottest project that has been been spoken about a lot in this past 2 days or so. So this is the Binance coin, but I'm looking at the past right now, and I'm looking at how this project has fended over the years. And this is the one week chart, and I just want to go now step forward and now look at Binance coin, where it is right now and where it has risen up. So it, no doubt, it has been moving with the BTC, but for a new project like Binance, it's looking pretty good, because now what I see here on Binance at the end of this week, I'm hoping to see this candlestick right here at the bottom. I'm seeing like this candlestick forming its own engulfing candlestick, or engulfing a pattern. So at the end of the week, I'm hoping to see if the candlestick, if it ends in this same pattern, we might be likely to see a confirmation of a bullish trend that will come in a long-term wise. When you are looking at the weekly chart, you are looking at long-term charts, and you are speculating in longer terms. Now, the other thing here now, the thing that also gives me sort of like skepticism is that the exponential moving average are too far apart to give me that confirmation of a bullish trend for BNB. So for BNB coin, particularly BNB itself, it still looks to have that bearish market that will be coming, because of this distance that the exponential moving averages have. And then now, what you should understand about exponential moving average, the red line being above shows that the market is strong, but the green line being above shows that the market has been weak. So this also crossover itself also confirms that the market weakness of the BNB itself. So, but now another thing that is in contrast with what's happening with the exponential moving average is that this engulfing pattern right here is saying a different story. So it will remain to be seen how the future of the BNB project is going to be. But I do believe that soon enough we'll see these exponential moving average lines coming together so that they can make another crossover for the red line to come above, showing a confirmation of a bullish trend for the BNB project as well. And of course, let's look at the Coinmarketcap.com right here. Coinmarketcap, I think I saw it was around about 1.8 trillion, closer to 1.9. Okay, 1.8 trillion. Okay. Market cap, and 18,307 cryptos that are registered on the coin market cap. So there's more cryptocurrencies lying around, but only 18,000 made it. Only the 18,000 made it to the coin market cap. Okay, there's the statistics here, 18,000 and something. Then there's 1.8 trillion market cap for the past 24 hours. Okay, looking at the Bitcoin right there. Now, on the overall 7-day, or in this past week, we must all admit that Bitcoin or cryptocurrencies have done well. So how well did they do? They've been up for 3.24%, gone up. And then also the Ethereum. The Ethereum this week, I must say, this is the biggest gainer, which was with a 8.32% gain right there. And then some coins like Tether, because it's pegged to the dollar, it don't do much of rising. But BNB 3.87%, and USD coin similar with the Tether, being pegged with the dollar right there. And then XRP with a 5.76% rise in the last 7 days, but it's taking a knock in the last 24 hours. Of course, the Terra project is taking a knock in the last 7 weeks, 12.90%, and being the top 10, that can have a negative effect on the Terra Luno project. And then having Cardano having gained 3.82% this week, but today they are getting a knock. Most of these cryptocurrencies are in the top 10, they are all getting a knock in the last 24 hours or so. And then you want to go to Solana, which is at number 9, which is 3.7% on a rise on a 7 daily. But on a daily wise, it has taken a knock like other cryptocurrencies. Avalanche, Avex, and 56% of raise. So the biggest project that took the biggest earnings this week, or the biggest winners of this week in the top 10 cryptocurrencies, is Ethereum with 8.33%. But of course, there are also news that follow the market as well that have come out. Let's go back, let's go to Europe to see what they say about the stocks themselves in Europe. Read a little bit of that European stock, okay? Since they've been devastating by war. European stocks open mostly lower. Biden Xi call awaited. Okay, politics and politicians affecting the market as usual. Okay, European stocks markets. European stock markets opened slightly lower on Friday, but were still on course for a weekly gain as participants awaited the outcome of key talks between US President Joe Biden and his Chinese counterpart Xi Jinping. Okay, the Euro Stocks 50, okay, took a knock, I think. Losing 4.17%, was down 6 points or 0.2%, while the border-based stocks 600 was flat. The best performing major index was the FTSE MIB in Italy, while France's CAC 40 underperformed with a 0.4% drop a day after President Emmanuel Macron warned that the state may have to nationalize certain energy companies, a comment taken to refer to electricite the French. Stocks look likely to finish the week higher thanks to the ongoing diplomacy that has accompanied Russia's war in Ukraine, which has seen the two sides' positions inch closer to each other since last weekend. However, on the ground, the campaign remains as destructive as ever. Wow. Which is not such a good news, with the Russian rockets striking the city of Lviv in western Ukraine overnight, a vital part of the diplomatic process. Despite its location in the other side of the world is China, whose political support for Russia has cushioned the impact of the West's economic sanctions on the country. So China is sort of like a friend for Russia, and they have been keeping with arms in arms with Macron. So it's sort of like making it much more easier for them as the rest of the world sanctions the Russian. The Kremlin. Secretary of State Antony Blinken warned on Thursday that China will bear responsibility for any actions it takes to support Russia's aggression, and we will not hesitate to impose costs. Wow. So China is diplomatic towards Russian invasion, and there are concern, of course, amongst many other nations as to why is China is being so helpful towards Russia. Of course, I think Russia and China are big friends because they're just right next door, and they are both superpowers that at some point they are not, both of them are not part of NATO, and that can mean a lot of beef when it comes to nationalization of things. And so there's a lot of skepticism what is going to happen between Xi Jinping and Xi Jinping and the Russian president as well. And then going to other news as well, going to Australia, talking about cryptocurrency news. There's some cryptocurrency news that came out earlier on. Australia having to take in regulators. Okay, Australian competition regulator takes Meta to court over fake crypto ads, Meta being formerly known as Facebook. The ACC highlighted unapproved or endorsed scam ads featuring prominent Australian figures such as entrepreneur Dick Smith, TV host David Koch, and former NSW Premier Mike Bird in particular. Okay, so Meta is, okay, Facebook is facing some legal authority up in Australia. The Australian Competition and Consumer Commission, ACCC, is taking Meta platforms, formerly Facebook, to the federal court, alleging that The firm and its Irish branch engage in false, misleading, or deceptive conduct by publishing scam celebrity crypto ads. Wow. Okay, that's a huge allegation against the Meta Facebook. Let us look at the Meta itself, Facebook. Let us look at the Meta itself, Facebook. Sorry about that. The Meta itself, Facebook. Where is this news? Where's the news? Where's the news? I just need. Okay. All right. This was supposed to be shared. Okay, this is the whole story right here. Australian competition regulators takes Meta to court over crypto. But I don't know if this type of news can affect the stock of the Facebook itself, because, well, Australia is just one part of the world that just have issues with Facebook, but not the entire world of the market. But sometimes some of these news can have impact that can give skepticism to investors, particularly for the Facebook brand itself. I don't know if that can be effective in a very, very bad way, in a sense that you might see like a downtrend within the Facebook industry company itself. But that remains to be seen, because I also have the Facebook chart right here. Okay, no. I have the Facebook. Okay, I have the Facebook right here. Okay, I just want to reveal the Facebook right here on my crypto scanner. Let us just share it. Okay, that's the Japanese yen and the dollar. Okay, just let's look at the Facebook on a crypto scanner, on my crypto screener, on my stock screener. Just want to see the Facebook stock as well, how they are doing. Okay, let's just go down all the way. There is it. Okay, you can just pick it up from here. Okay, there is it, says Facebook Meta. Let's go reveal the chart, how it look like. Okay, now this is the Facebook chart, as you can see there right there on the top. Okay, looking at, I think we are looking at the daily chart right there. Okay, on the daily chart, Facebook is thriving. Okay, this is the Facebook stock. Okay, so initially these stocks are affected by the fact that the rest of the market itself is still moving on a pace, that because of the hike of the interest rates. But as you can see, maybe the news does affect the pace of the Facebook having to go up as high as maybe 216 per stock, but it's just sitting there on that level right there, and it is stagnant. I think there's also lack of volatility. Look at that jump right here where it had that sell off. That is a major sell off. This could also mean that there's a lack of management within the Facebook itself. So there's not pretty much room to say that the Facebook will going up or down. But while it's still at its bottom right there, but I sense that there's also lack of volatility within the Facebook stock. Now, adding those news as well, this can also have tremendous implication on the Facebook stock itself. And let us just move on to other news as well on the Ukraine on MoneyWeb. These are local news. Okay, regarding China as well. I think they talk about regarding China, Ukraine update, Biden to warn China against supporting Russia. You see, this is another confirmation. Oil rose after the Kremlin pushed back against the reports of progress in peace talks. So, in the rising of the oil, it means that there's less peace, but when there's peace, the oil obviously always goes down. Oil rose after the Kremlin pushed back against reports of progress in peace talk. So there were rumors that there are peace talks that are happening within the Kremlin, and that has brought about a positive outlook for the past few days, for a while. But these peace talks are not genuine. That's the thing. News can come out and talk about peace talks, but there are no peace talks. But and then after that, you just hear that the Russian are pushing back at the idea that there was peace talk, but there was no peace talks, and eventually President Biden, Ukraine update, Biden to warn China against supporting Russia. Oil rose after that. The oil rose. Okay, I want to go down to the part where the oil rose after the Kremlin pushed back, okay, against the reports of progress in peace talks. The U.S. House of Representatives voted to end regular trade relations with Russia, and the Pentagon warned that Russia may become more reliant on its nuclear deterrent as war and sanctions weaken its conventional forces. Okay, so these peace talks that have been spoken about, there were news, I think, a few days back when I was doing the show, that there was peace talk, this, that, but, these peace talks did not even, they were not solid, man. Hence you see, like, Russian, like, what you talking about? What you talk about these peace talks? There's no peace talks. Russia are still attacking Ukraine today. There are people still suffering within Ukraine and they are living. And sanctions that they've put against Russia will be tightening. And as they tighten, be aware that the oil will rise. If you're an investor, be aware that the oil prices will rise. And when the oil prices will rise, for investors, it may look good, but for the general public, it is quite going to be painful for them to witness prices going up and so forth. But of course, there are other projects that are coming out of the crypto world, talking about this Ape coin, okay, taking the world by storm in the world of NFTs, right? They came out yesterday, first 2 days, I think. It came out yesterday, okay? Ape daily coin. Ape coin makes massive leaps within its first trading day. Wow, okay. Let's read on. It goes on to say, Ape coin is shot up in value by 173% in its first 24 hours. I will show you that chart of trading are launched by Yuga Labs, the creators of the most successful NFT collection, Bored Yacht Ape Club. Ape immediately became the cryptocurrency market's new darling. Okay, accordingly, its price went through wild acrobatic swings during its first trading day. Initially, Ape made a gut-wrenching nosedive from $40 to $8, losing around 80% in value less than 5 minutes. Wow. Okay. After the BAYC native token was listed on major crypto exchanges. Okay. Now, this is the chart that it looks like. I think this is the 5-minute chart. So when the when the Ape coin made its inception a few days ago, you can see this huge candlestick forming on a 5-minute chart. Despite this, demand held strong and brought ApeCoin to a new peak of 17 to 75 on Friday morning, marking a price change of 173%. The total Ape trading volume on different platforms surpassed $7.77 billion within 24 hours, according to Coinmarketcap. Although Ape has since corrected to $14.90 at the time of writing, it is still the 31st biggest crypto within over 4.1 billion in market capitalization. Wow, that is huge for this young project to be having such an impact. I do have the Ape chart right here, which is also on BNB. Let us just look at it right there, and which is also on BNB. I'm looking at the 1-day chart. This is the Ape project. This is their inception. Okay, the Ape project coming here only has 2 candlesticks. Why? Because the Ape project has been here for 2 days. Each of these candlesticks represent a day. This is being the first day when it came in, then it shot up as high as $27 per Ape coin. And then now the Ape coin is sitting at 13.9 to $14 per coin. So this is what the article is talking about. But great and wonderful performance. Some of these projects come up with the aggressiveness. Now, before this, I showed you the BNB coin, how it had its humble beginnings. And I do believe sometimes, some of these projects that have humble beginnings are most likely to be the most booming project going forward and the most enduring, and they will stay most longest. So this ApeCoin came out with a bang, and it's an NFT, okay? It's a non-fungible token. All right, so it's gonna be sold and resold from point B to point A to C and so forth. But how long will it endure? How long will it sustain this hype? That's the main question there. How long will it sustain the hype that it has right now? So this project, I'm looking forward to it, is the ApeCoin. I'll always be looking back and always being I'll pull up this chart, because this project came in a time where I'm also very much active in broadcasting the financial markets and being active in broadcasting cryptocurrency news, as in right now in Empire Crypto TV. This is one of the projects that I'll be following tailwise. I'll be following this project. Okay, I don't know. Let's look at what's gonna happen. These are the weeks and the times of the week that we have shared. Okay, now let us do the final analysis of the Bitcoin itself, how it looks like, how will it go for the next coming week. I want to look at the daily chart. In fact, let's just look at the daily chart. Let's do some analysis on the daily chart. Okay, come on. Okay, this is the daily chart. All right, show me 1 week chart. I don't think this is a daily chart. I'm looking for a daily chart. So, okay, let me go to a 1 hour chart. Will it change? Weekly charts are not so easy to analyze at this point in time, but I can see that it has that huge candlestick. Let's go back to daily chart. A bit of stubbornness in the chart itself. Okay, now this is what I'm looking for. All right, let us share it. The rest of you. Well, okay, this is my support and my resistance, but we're still in between as we're looking at the chart right now. In between, still at $40 something thousand dollars. Lack of skepticism, but the bull trend that has shown itself on Wednesday, it's also I would say it's also caused this small bearish trend because the buying was too much. Let's look at the relative strength index. Let us look at the buying power that was available at that time. Okay, the RSI will help us understand why we have this this regression that we are seeing right now. It's because maybe things were overbought at one point, and right now, okay, no overbought or anything like that, but the relative strength index maintained a moderate value. Okay, a moderate win. Okay, I know the relative strength index was quite moderate. I wouldn't say that there was overbought, oversold conditions. It was just quite moderate. So, which means, and we can see like there is also a crossover that is attempting, and it has already stamped itself as a crossover. Okay, if you look quite close enough, there is a crossover that is happening. Now, the green line being on top, it shows that the market has been weak. Now, the red line is looking to come above. It's quite close. It's quite close to a change of a market. It's quite close. And you can see like this red line is coming quite very underneath the green line, and the indicator itself is enforcing information that this red line shouldn't come above anytime soon in the days to come. And maybe this coming weekend we can speculate and see if this will occur. If it does occur, then it is a grand confirmation that the bull trend will start to be coming up. But maybe it cannot last that long, because there is a situation here where the red line was looking to come above, and then there was a crossover. Then once again that crossover faded away, and then the green line came above again and was dominant for a long period of time, for quite a number of days, which is 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 which is for the past 2 weeks, the exponential moving average, which is on a 26 period moving average, the green one, which is the 26 moving average, has been quite dominant for the past 2 weeks. But now that looks to change over the next a few days or so. Let us see what happens on this weekend. I do suspect that in the next weekend or so, we'll be seeing the trend going up, because it is likely most of the time on the weekend to see the cryptocurrency rising. But let's see what happens, because it might be a different story, because there was a rise. But the interest rate hike, okay, it affected almost every market in a positive way. Okay, I'm just talking about in terms of stocks and cryptocurrency particularly. I'm not sure about the other financial instruments. Maybe there was something different about them. But of course, this has been a very, very, very good session. Thank you for joining me. This is Empire Crypto TV, and I am your host, Stone, and I will be joining you, or will be rejoining you, or will be rejoining each other next week, Monday, same time, same place, bringing you crypto news and analysis and market analysis and fundamental analysis within the market. Thank you very much. Have a good weekend wherever you are. Stay safe and stay alive. And thank you very much.